Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. And today, oh man, you better buckle up because we are diving headfirst into what could be one of the wildest, most unpredictable, and legacy-defining postseasons we've seen in recent NBA history. The 2025 NBA playoffs are here. 20 teams are in. Only one will raise the Larry O'Brien Trophy when it's all said and done. And while some franchises are clearly in better shape than others, here's the truth. Absolutely nothing is guaranteed. Boston, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Golden State, and yes, the Los Angeles Lakers. All with different narratives, all with unique motivations. But only one path leads to glory. Now, what if I told you that some of the so-called favorites may actually be sitting on a ticking time bomb? What if I said that injuries, matchups, and sheer playoff chaos could flip every expert prediction upside down? That's what we're here to explore today. So let's set the stage by looking at the current NBA title odds as of April 15th, courtesy of BetMGM. Thunder, plus 175. Celtics, plus 220. Cavaliers, plus 600. Lakers, plus 1,100. Warriors, plus 1,400. Knicks, plus 3,000. Nuggets, plus 3,000. Clippers, plus 3,500. Timberwolves, plus 5,000. OKC and Boston, two teams that have been dominant, consistent, and versatile, are leading the pack. But does being the betting favorite really mean you're the most dangerous in the playoffs? Because here's the thing, the postseason is not just about talent. It's about experience. It's about health. It's about chemistry at the right moment. And sometimes, it's about surviving the chaos. So let's dive deeper into what could really happen and why the experts' predictions might only scratch the surface. Let's start in the East. The Boston Celtics have been a juggernaut. After a mid-season dip, they've come roaring back, and they're doing it with authority. Kristaps Porzingis is finally healthy. Tatum looks like a man on a mission. Derek White has become the ultimate Swiss Army knife. And when Jaylen Brown is clicking, this team is close to unstoppable. But here's the catch: Brown's nagging knee issue. That could become a serious problem. This team needs him at full capacity to survive the brutal matchups ahead. And don't forget, last season's playoff run was already physically demanding. Is it possible that Boston stars might start to feel the weight of back-to-back deep playoff pushes? Could this be the year where Boston, once again, gets so close and then falls just short? Some insiders believe that Cleveland might actually be the team nobody wants to face. The Cavaliers are young, yes, but they've matured. Evan Mobley has taken another step. Donovan Mitchell is a walking playoff bucket. And Darius Garland has become a true floor general. Add that to one of the stingiest defenses in the league, and suddenly they're not just a nice story. They're a legitimate threat to knock out Boston before the finals. But then again, does Cleveland have the playoff composure to go toe-to-toe with a team that's been to the mountaintop before? Fans are wondering if this could be the beginning of a new Eastern Conference hierarchy. Because let's be honest, if Boston stumbles and the Cavs break through, everything changes. Could it be the end of the Tatum-Brown era? Could that trigger a major shake-up in the East? Now let's flip over to the Western Conference, where things get wild. The Oklahoma City Thunder are, by every metric, the best team in the West. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is playing at an MVP level. Chet Holmgren is already altering games defensively. And the supporting cast is incredibly deep and unselfish. They can play small, big, fast, slow. They are, plain and simple, a nightmare to prepare for. And yet, there's one massive question hanging over them. Are they ready for the moment? This is a team that hasn't been here before. They haven't had to gut out a Game 6 on the road. They haven't faced a 3-2 deficit with everything on the line. Experience in the playoffs matters. And while OKC has talent in spades, will they hold their nerve when things get messy? That's where teams like the Lakers and Warriors come into play. Let's talk Lakers. This isn't the same team we saw limping through the regular season. This is a version that suddenly looks dangerous. LeBron James, even at 40, is still one of the smartest players on the floor. Austin Reeves has developed into a reliable secondary scorer. And Luka Doncic? Yeah, that move at the trade deadline might go down as the most impactful of the entire year. Because Doncic is not just a star. He's a playoff killer. And when you put that kind of playmaking next to LeBron's IQ, you get a team that can control tempo, punish mismatches, and steal games on the road. Could this be the beginning of a deep, unexpected Lakers run? Their path won't be easy, but it might be manageable. The bracket has broken in their favor, avoiding Denver and the Clippers in early rounds and possibly facing the Warriors after a grueling first-round battle. Speaking of the Warriors, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green. Let that sink in. Golden State might not be the powerhouse they were 5 years ago, but in the playoffs, they're terrifying. Butler's arrival has reinvigorated their defense. Curry is still Curry, and Draymond, for all his antics, turns into a playoff savant when it matters most. Some insiders believe that this trio, with all their experience, might be the only group capable of knocking out a young Thunder team still learning how to win. Could we be heading for a Warriors-Thunder Western Conference Finals? The past versus the future? The legends versus the upstarts? Or could the Clippers crash the party? Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, Paul George, Ty Lue. They've been quietly dominant in spurts. And since January 4th, with Kawhi in the lineup, they've been among the league leaders in both offense and defense. The only thing that's held them back? Health. And it's a big if, they're at full strength, they have the firepower, size, and versatility to beat anybody. And don't count out the Timberwolves. Or the Nuggets, with Nikola Jokic lurking as the silent killer. Everyone's talking about OKC and Boston, but this field is absolutely stacked. So what's our prediction? Well, let's look at what CBS sports experts had to say. Several are backing the Thunder to take it all. Others believe Boston's playoff experience will give them the edge in a long series. Some have picked wild cards, like the Lakers or Warriors, to shock the world. But here's the truth. No one really knows. And that's what makes it so thrilling. Because every year, we see heroes born. We see dynasties crumble. We see unknown players make the shot of a lifetime. And this year, with all this parity, with all these injuries, with so many Hall of Fame careers hanging in the balance, this year might be the most dramatic postseason in decades. So let me ask you, who do you think is going to make it to the finals? Will it be Boston versus OKC like so many are predicting? Or are we about to witness the return of LeBron and Luka under the brightest lights? As for me, I've got to admit, I'm leaning Lakers. I just can't bet against LeBron and Luka with the kind of momentum they're building. Something about this run feels different. There's a hunger there, a belief. And the bracket might just be cracking open at the perfect time. But man, the Thunder are scary. The Celtics are polished. And there are 6 or 7 teams that could realistically walk away with a trophy. This isn't just the NBA playoffs. This is basketball chaos at its finest. And I can't wait. Speaking of defining moments, what about Luka Doncic? People forget how young he still is. But if he takes the Lakers on a deep run, if he outduels guys like Curry or Shai on the way to the finals, that changes the narrative forever. Suddenly, he's not just a European sensation, he's the guy in the league. And don't underestimate what that could mean for LeBron either. He's chasing something bigger than just one more ring. He's chasing history. A 5th title puts him in a new stratosphere. And if he does it at 40, leading a team through the Western Gauntlet, that's GOAT-tier stuff. Meanwhile, the Celtics are feeling that same pressure, just in a different way. They've built around the same core for years. Tatum, Brown, Smart before he was traded, now White and Porzingis. They've gotten close, so close, but still no ring. You can't keep knocking on the door forever. Eventually, it's championship or bust. And we haven't even talked enough about the Knicks. Yes, the odds are long, but Jalen Brunson is turning into a bona fide playoff assassin. Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, when they're all clicking, New York becomes a nightmare matchup. And the Garden? That place erupts in the playoffs. They might just catch someone sleeping. But then again, can the Knicks survive a second-round war with Boston or Cleveland? Depth becomes everything. Coaching adjustments. Fatigue. The playoffs are a chess match, and one wrong move can cost you everything. Over in the West, Denver fans are shaking their heads at how overlooked they've become. Nikola Jokic is still the best center in the game. Jamal Murray is a playoff performer. Aaron Gordon's defense is elite, and yet no one is putting them in the same tier as OKC or the Lakers. That chip on their shoulder? It's real, and it's dangerous. If Jokic starts dropping 30-point triple-doubles again, all bets are off. Denver could remind everyone why they were the champs just 1 year ago. Experience matters. Continuity matters. And when the game slows down in the playoffs, their execution is nearly flawless. And don't forget Minnesota. Yes, they're still young, but Anthony Edwards looks like a superstar ready to erupt. If he goes nuclear, and if Karl-Anthony Towns can finally play consistent playoff basketball, the Timberwolves become a real dark horse. They've got the defense. They've got the athleticism. Now, it's about belief. Imagine a Western Conference where Edwards knocks out LeBron, or where Jokic and Shai trade buckets in a 7-game war. These are the kinds of storylines that make the NBA playoffs feel like a movie. And the Warriors? They know this might be their last dance. Steph isn't getting younger. Draymond's got miles on those legs. Butler's intensity won't last forever. If they want to squeeze out one more banner, the time is now. And that sense of urgency, that can elevate a team beyond what the numbers say. But of course, nothing's ever simple in the playoffs. One rolled ankle, one cold shooting night, one rookie making the mistake of his life. That's all it takes to shift an entire series. That's what makes this postseason so unpredictable. And let's not rule out the Clippers again. Yes, health is always the asterisk. But man, when Kawhi is locked in, he's still one of the best two-way players in the league. And Harden, for all the criticism, is quietly having one of his most efficient seasons ever. This team, if healthy, is built to win now. So here's the big question. What does it all mean for the finals? Because while OKC versus Boston sounds clean and logical, how often does logic actually win in the NBA playoffs? More often than not, it's chaos that writes the script. That's what makes the Lakers so intriguing. Darvin Ham has a deep bench, but more importantly, he now has a roster that fits. Rui Hachimura has carved out a role. D'Angelo Russell can catch fire. And Jared Vanderbilt's return might be the defensive X factor they need to throw at elite wings like Shai or Tatum. Chemistry matters, and the Lakers have finally found theirs. They're not stumbling into this postseason. They're surging. And when a team finds its rhythm right before the playoffs, that's when upsets happen. That's when Cinderella runs are born. On the flip side, you have teams like Milwaukee, no longer the juggernaut they were. Giannis is still Giannis, but the team around him has been shaky. Damian Lillard has had moments, but can he defend well enough to stay on the floor in high-leverage situations? And if they can't protect the rim like they used to, that's a major red flag. Philadelphia is another wild card. Joel Embiid is back, but how healthy is he really? We've seen this story before. MVP-level production in the regular season, only for injuries to derail everything in May. If Embiid can stay upright and Tyrese Maxey continues his leap, they could be a bracket buster. But it's a huge if. Miami? Well, they're Miami. It doesn't matter if they're the 1 seed or the 8 seed. If Spoelstra and Butler are in the playoffs, you have to respect them. They grind games down to the mud, force you to execute every single possession, and take advantage of every mental lapse. If they match up with Boston or Cleveland early, that's danger. And let's not overlook the psychological game. Playoff pressure is different. You start seeing ghosts of last year's losses. Teams that blew leads in the past start to tighten up. Players who've never been past the second round, they start pressing. That's where battle-tested veterans shine, and where young stars either rise or fade. Which brings us back to the Warriors. No team plays with more swagger when they're clicking. The problem is, when they're not clicking, it can spiral quickly. Turnovers, cold shooting nights, defensive lapses. This version of Golden State is volatile, but that also makes them dangerous. Then you've got the role players, the unsung heroes. Every championship team has one. Bruce Brown for Denver last year. Alex Caruso for the Lakers in 2020. Who's it going to be this time? Could it be Josh Hart for New York? Christian Braun for Denver again? Max Christie for the Lakers if given minutes? These guys can swing series. And if there's one thing we've learned over the last decade, it's that the NBA playoffs are about moments. Not just games. Moments. Block. A steal. A buzzer beater, a 10-0 run to start the fourth. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If you don't seize the moment, you're gone. That's why every fan base is on edge right now. One game at a time. Every possession dissected. Every coach's decision debated in real time on social media. And the deeper you go into the playoffs, the louder the pressure gets. Because make no mistake, legacies are on the line. If the Celtics don't win it all, people will question Tatum's ability to lead. If the Thunder falls short, the too young narrative will grow louder. If LeBron and Luka can't capitalize on this window, who knows if they ever get another one? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear your predictions. Which team has the edge? Which player will be the breakout star? And who's lifting the trophy in June? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We got coverage coming every step of the way, from Game 1 to the last buzzer of the finals. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with even more playoff madness.